Okay, so this is part 2 of the first video that I shot. So this happened in Amsterdam. Okay, so as usual, I followed all the rules that I stated earlier. You know, I checked all the boxes and looked at the price, and I saw, so the response time for the host, it was poor. It was a bit poor, but for some reason, I didn't really pay attention to that. Okay, I don't know why, but every time I book, there's a part where right before you're about to make your payment, it asks you if you want to leave a message for the host. I always leave a message, always, and I always say, because I'm a bit reserved, right? Like sometimes I don't like to have small talk, you know. So sometimes the host will want to talk to you. I mean, that's fine, get to know each other. But sometimes like, I just want to stay in there. Like I'm on vacation, I just want to chill, go sightsee, come back and rest. So I always put that in my notes, you know. I say, hey, you know, we're just hanging out, you know, we're coming here to rest and relax, you know, and I always put that. So I did it for this one. I didn't hear anything back. So I'm like, okay, it wasn't too weird to me, because again, some hosts, they will respond within an hour, within a day. So this one, it didn't strike me too much. So, and hubby, he leaves all of that planning up to me, right? I do the booking, I do look at the distance, and so I secure all of that, and he leaves it up to me. So, and I always tell them, I'm gonna leave or sometimes even they would ask, they would say, okay, what time are you arriving in my home? So either I'm there to welcome you, or if I'm not there, I can make arrangements. So that's what I did. So I tell them, hey, I told this person, I said, I'll be arriving at this time, and when I'm leaving, I'll let you know when I'm leaving. Again, I always do that. I always, when I get on the road to start driving, I send them a text message. I say, hey, I'm leaving at this time, I will arrive at this time. Works every time. On this day though, I had booked it like 2 weeks before. I didn't hear anything. I messaged this person again, didn't hear anything. On the day we were leaving, I sent the message again on our way out. I said, okay, we're leaving right now, we will be arriving at this time. Still didn't hear anything. Now my red flags started going up in my head. And I said, what is going on? What's happening? So Amsterdam is about 4 hours away from Cape Town here. So we were driving, we were about an hour out. And I never like to arrive at night. So we made sure we left early enough so we would get there when it was still a little bit bright outside. So we got there in time. But you know, trying to find the house and everything, and when we arrived, so at that point I was getting worried, like maybe this person might not even know that we're coming to her house, right? So I contacted Airbnb support and I said, this is what's going on, I haven't heard from this host and we're on our way there. And they said, oh, you know, keep checking, so I tried to call the number, said the number was disconnected. I'm like, oh hell. What is happening? Didn't hear anything. I tried calling again and again, nothing. When we arrived at the house, okay, it had started getting dark outside. So it looked like a business. There were couple of business signs outside, and of course they were in Dutch. A couple of them were in Dutch, some of them were in English. But it still didn't go off in my head, right? So hubby went and rang the doorbell. What he didn't tell me was when he rang the doorbell, he heard echoes in the house, which means the house was empty. Okay, well, again, it probably didn't ring in his head that this is what's going on, but the house was empty. So we stood there. It had gotten dark at this point. We're ringing the doorbell, we're calling, I'm trying to get Airbnb support, nothing. Like 30-45 minutes goes by, we were literally stranded outside this person's house with nowhere to go. So it didn't hit me to start looking at hotel rooms, because I was like, this is not happening. So thank goodness, see, God always, the way God works, I'm telling you, hallelujah. While we were standing out there, a man came out literally right next door. This man came out to look at his bike. And so we, said, hey, we greeted him, and he came towards us. We were talking. And as soon as hubby said, yeah, we booked this Airbnb, and as soon as he heard Airbnb, he goes, oh, yeah. And I said, what happened? And he goes, oh yeah, the lady died. She died. It's not funny, but now it's funny. The lady had been dead for a year. She had been dead for a whole year. Okay, it was a Taiwanese lady. She had been dead for a year. And Airbnb still had that booking up. How? I don't know. So this lady had been dead for a year. And this guy told us how this young couple had been biking, I think from like Brussels or somewhere, I don't even know, some faraway place. They had been biking for days, right? And they arrived here at night, and this house was unavailable to them. And this man said he felt so sorry for this young couple. So I was like, whew. I had to whoosah for that moment. Because I was like, we just drove 4 hours to get here and we don't have an Airbnb. And I was mad as hell. So the guy, again, this guy was sent by God, because he helped us look for hotels here and there, because he speaks Dutch. And from what he told us, actually, that because we asked him, like, how come you speak such good English? And he said they start teaching English there in the Netherlands at a very young age, so you have to know English. So his English was very good, and he also spoke Dutch. And because most of the hotels they spoke Dutch, so he could communicate with them. So he tried to call back and forth, and every hotel was either booked or too far. At this point, I didn't care about the price. I was like, just get me in the room, because now I'm pissed off. So he tried to help, and most hotels you had to pay to park in their parking space. So this guy tried to help, and most hotels, they closed their check-in at midnight. So at this point, it was like 11:45 already. And we were like, and this guy, he gave us his Wi-Fi password, and he tried to make phone calls for us. At that point, it was midnight. So he said, so since I was already tired, my back was hurting, so I actually sat on the floor. And he asked me, he said, you want to sit down? You want to sit down? I said, yeah, sure. So he took us to his backyard, and oh my God, his backyard was paradise. It was big, flowers everywhere, plants everywhere. It was beautiful. And he had a shed in the back, and he had this long table. His wife and his daughter was sitting right there. And we just, we spoke a little bit, and we explained everything to the wife. And the wife said, yeah, this lady has been dead for a while. We don't know why this listing is still up. So the guy, he went on his iPad, tried to find hotels for us. Okay, nothing was open. Everything was closed. And the lady asked us if we wanted some coffee, some espresso. So we just, we're chatting. So at this point, it's like maybe like 12:30 already. So I think they had a conversation in their Dutch language. And this lady comes back and she says, well, since we can't find anything for you guys, we're going to offer you guys a room in our house. So in the morning, we can figure everything out, because right now we're not getting anywhere. So it seems as though something happened with the clip, the remaining clip from the last video. So I had to record a new section. Okay, so where I left off was, so this lady, her and her husband, they communicated, and they asked us to spend the night in their house. Okay, and it was a huge sigh of relief. I mean, I was like, this is amazing, absolutely amazing. So we spent the night, and we had a lot of stuff. Well, I had a lot of stuff. We had a huge cooler of food. Okay, and since they had the shed in the back, again, all God's doing. They had a huge fridge in that shed that was empty. Like the only thing in the fridge there were like a couple of Heineken bottles in there at the top. That was it. It was empty. So we had that huge cooler. I had all types of food in there, fruit, some eggs and whatnot. So I piled on the food in that fridge, left the cooler in there, and the guy actually, he offered to help us with our suitcases. I mean, they were just too much goodness, you know. So they took us upstairs, showed us the room that she had prepared, huge bed, nice bathroom and everything. So we just, at that point, I was so exhausted, but I had to find a new room right away. So I quickly went back on the app, did a quick search, and I found one room, and thank goodness the guy was still awake, because when I sent him a message, he quickly responded. So I explained the situation, told him what was happening, and asked if we could check in early in the morning. And he said, yeah, that's fine, you know, come around 11 or noon or something like that. We said, okay, cool. So at least that one was set. So Airbnb, they kept saying, yeah, you know, we'll refund your money and whatnot. At that point, I wasn't really thinking about that, but I knew that they had to refund that money. Of course, they had to. So we spent the night. The following morning, okay, by the time we came downstairs, there was breakfast laid out for us. I mean, how amazing is that? They had breakfast. They had all types of bread, cheese, you know, they had coffee. I was just like, this is, oh my God. They had everything laid out. So we just sat there, we talked. They told us about their work, how much they had traveled, they had been to the States, you know, and of course they would always ask us questions. Being Americans, they ask us all types of questions. So, you know, we just had a conversation with them, you know, and we took some pictures, and they asked us if we had booked a new place. You know, of course we had. So they helped us put our stuff in the car, and we were on our way. We thanked them so much, which I actually just did. I put together a little gift box for them and sent it to them not too long ago, because we had never really experienced that kind of goodness. Okay, that was just because we could have been serial killers. We could have been some horrible people. I mean, thank God we're not, but we really could have been, you know, they invited us into their home. That was amazing. But anyway, going to the next house, we checked in. Okay. You could tell that it was a bachelor living in this house. It was a nice house, but it had an interesting smell, and the fridge was crowded. Now, of course, I asked him about the fridge, like I always do. And he said, oh yeah, don't worry, there's space in the fridge. We got there, so he wasn't there. He just directed us where to get the key. But the fridge was packed. And it wasn't like packed like nice stuff in there. No, it was all over the place. It had a weird smell, you know, and there was this bowl of watermelon just open, sitting out there. It was just, so I told him, hey, we have quite a bit of food. And he goes, just move things around, just move things around. So I had to stand there and shift things around to fit our stuff. I mean, I blame us too. We carried way too much food, like we always do. I made way too much food, you know, that was my fault. But anyway, you know, I had to move things around and put it. So going upstairs, there was one plug for the whole room. I mean, at that point, we were like, you know what? It's a weird weekend already, this Airbnb. And this is nothing against Airbnb, okay? And you know, it's just, this is just one experience out of the few that we've had that have been very, very good. Very good. You know, again, every business has one or two flaws. That's okay. But this place, it just wasn't the best. It didn't smell right. So when I did my review for this particular place, I'd let the guy know, you know, clean off the place a little bit, let it smell nice a little bit. But anyway, so Airbnb did take down the listing because I went in on them, or I went all the way in. I wrote like, I had different Airbnb support staff kept messaging me, oh, we're gonna give you discounts. I don't care about the discounts. That's not what I need. What I need is to take down that listing, because I want us to be the last people who would drive hours to come there and there's nobody there. Just take, that's all I need from you. Take it. I don't care about a gift certificate or whatnot, or a gift code or whatnot. Take it down. So they did take it down. Thank goodness. They took it down, and then they gave me, I think, two discounts. One for food and one for booking, which I used the booking for my room for Rome when I was booking my room to go to Rome. So yeah, they did take down the booking. So that whole experience kind of freaked me out a little bit. That was weird. Now, is that gonna stop me from taking Airbnbs? No. Again, it's nothing against Airbnb. You know, some people are just really horrible. You know, I mean, not the lady who died, God. It's just some Airbnb experiences are just really weird. But overall, I've had a pretty good experience. So anyway, yeah, so that was the story. Okay, so I'd like you guys to stay tuned. I have quite a few stories to share, like some interesting stories, and just some, you know, interesting videos of just my perspective on things, and just some things that I've experienced living in Europe, and just general life experiences. And I'm gonna have some videos just, you know, talking to some young ladies out there, you know, just about life, just enjoying life and living your best life, and then just being you. All right, you can live your best life and, you know, just still continue to be you. Okay. All right. I hope you all have a good weekend and have a good week. Okay. Stay safe. Wear your masks. Okay. And love on each other. All right. Cheers.